Pleasure meeting you. I guess to echo Julia's comment is, it'd be interesting to know from the crowd who is aware of what is a green economy and the World Green Economy Organization by raise of hand. Okay, all right, so everybody is. Who is aware of what we're doing and what is our mandate? All right.
Let's start there.
Let's start there then. So the organization was established in 2016 after the concept of the green economy came at the center of the stage in international arena. And right after the Paris Agreement, the World Green Economy Organization was established to promote the widespread adoption of green economy principles and practices. Now, we're a non-profit international organizations, and our global mandate is to facilitate the implementation of sustainable bankable project, right? So we facilitate the financing and the implementation of bankable project. We are offering our members, and I'll just dive a little bit into this in a second, various thematic programs from policy support to capacity building, investment promotion, policy work, and innovation and technology transfer. The way we're structured is around 7 platforms, which are representing all the key stakeholders in the green space. And we'll talk a little bit more about how we engage through those platforms during an afternoon session, the green circles.
Any questions at this stage? Anything else we can answer? Because we can walk you through this, absolutely no problem. But it would be maybe a little bit more interesting if you have direct questions that we can answer.
I have a question.
Please.
It would be very basic, but I would still like to ask. What's
Absolutely.
a bankable project?
Very good question. A bankable project is a project that will attract investors to invest in. It's as simple as that. And so that's a very good question. So we have identified a set of 10 criteria covering, for example, the return on investment, to which standard we are recognizing to ensure the greenability of a project, what are some of the risk measures that we use to assess the project. This is still something that is growing on case by case due to the nature of the project and the country where the project is located. Yeah.
Anything else at this stage we can answer? Sure.
Sure. So, for example, the public sector platform, we launched 2 years ago the Global Alliance on Green Economy. So this is an initiative that is spearheaded by UAE government, but that WGEO is directly implementing. And through this alliance, we are engaging with ministers from 86 countries and assist them with their green economy transition. So we provide them with different programs, from capacity building on the implementation of a carbon market to support them with their NDC strategy implementation. We conducted 2 focal point workshops the first half of this year across different time zones, and some of the benefit that they get is technological assistance, and with the purpose to later on support them with financing matchmaking. Some of the next step that we want to push forward is, first of all, have more countries. 86 countries is already an achievement in itself, but we have a lot of countries from the global south. We also want to engage with developed countries, and we will continue to provide them with the right set of skills that allows them to build green bankable projects, because ultimately we cannot build them for them. They have to build the capacity to do it by themselves. And so we accompany them through this process.
Thanks. And another one, in terms of regulation, maybe specifically in terms of the Middle East. I mean, we're seeing the EU come with very clear regulation where it would really help organizations disclose and be clear on their emissions and so on. are you engaged by any means in this region? I mean, I'm starting to hear that the UAE might have something coming up soon, but we're not clear on the rest of the Middle East.
Can you please elaborate a little bit?
Like, for example, in European Union, they have the CSRD that is landing in effect, which will mandate that companies start to be clear on their supply chain or their emissions and all of that, and actually be transparent around their disclosure. Nothing similar to that is still here, even though some of the organizations here that actually export to the European Union are being impacted, and they will have to start also doing that. So I was wondering if that's, because that's more of a policy engagement. So I was wondering that when you're engaging with a country, do you also work with them on how they can have a regulatory? Because no matter what the country commits in terms of reduction, if the whole private sector and public sector are not committed on their emission reduction, I mean, we're not going to reach anywhere.
Sure.
And if we're not clear on actually the actual baseline, the actual emissions that we're having, we're just committing on things that we're not able to reach.
Yeah, no, that's a valid question. I would say at this stage, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. We believe there is enough global standards. And so what we're trying to do is to either promote the existing one or just eventually support governments if they want to build some legislative measures to adjust it to their local markets, to their national priorities. Yeah. And so, for example, you know, we're looking at what we do at the national level is we recognize that cities represent, you know, 70% of carbon emissions, and so we've launched a carbon neutral city initiative. And so within the past 6 months, we have started a pilot project with 14 cities in Africa. 3 of them are capital city, to support them to develop a mechanism to, first of all, capture, measure, and their carbon emission, and then identify a plan to address it in order to achieve a carbon neutral city. In parallel to this, we're also developing, and it's going to be live next year, a scientific platform that would allow cities to monitor live their carbon emission in the areas that they will want to have a necessary impact. So yeah, this is for us something that allows us to have a direct impact by focusing on cities. Yeah.
Anything else at this stage? Anything else we can answer? Then we'll just jump a little bit back into what was initially planned, and you can interrupt us at any point.
Well, maybe I could elaborate on you know, we were talking about standards and you know, capacity buildings, or let's say you know, accreditation. We've recently become the first certified training partner in the UAE with GRI. So we are right now doing the trainer program, and we're going to start reaching out to all the countries, to all the companies, sorry, in the region to support them with their reporting mechanism. We have a global mandate with GRI, so we'll also go beyond just the region. But it's something that will, you know, enable companies, who, depending on their, you know, different level of maturity in their sustainability journey, to have either support from GRI when it comes to reporting. So yeah. We also offer a lot of different capacity building. We have bespoke training program that we built with corporates. Some of them are addressing all the different, you know, ladder of the corporate levels. So we provide executive training. Well, we like to say executive awareness sessions to raise awareness about to the C-suite about what is the benefit of embracing a sustainability journey. Basically, why it's important for your bottom line, and then down to the support function and even the suppliers. So we've done some Scope 3 bespoke training with some of our members. I mentioned GRI. We also address decarbonization and net zero pathways. So we have 5 modules focusing on GHG inventorization, net zero pathway strategy, and networking reporting as well. And finally, we are building an accreditation on the green economy that will help to position companies here in the region to get a WGEO stamp on their capacity building.
Yes, please. Could we have a microphone here?
Is there any mechanism to rehabilitate people in the non-renewable energy levels if they are working in that kind of sector?
Sorry. Do you
Is there any mechanism to rehabilitate the people who are working in non-renewable energy sector if you are introducing this kind of thing? That is one of the
Okay.
This is a very good question. The issue of just transition is very important, whether it's green reskilling or just transition of jobs. We are in discussion with LinkedIn, who has billions of data points, to understand that. There's a report that's coming out, and we are going to work with them, especially in the countries in Africa, but also in countries where there is a heavy industry-based economy, to understand how this would impact the entire economic model of a country, which can be based on heavy fossil fuel industries towards more renewable one, and how does that translate into socially. We don't have it as of today. We will have it in the future.
And I guess along those lines, we can jump into our youth programs as
Yeah,
well.
so along that, we also have a youth program, a young leader programs. Tomorrow we'll have a dedicated session about it, so I'm just going to touch upon quickly, but this is a 2 weeks program for students and graduates to upskill their environmental knowledge with practical case studies and interactive discussions. And so there's something we also want. It somehow address what you were saying, but more on from the, let's say, student side. From the professional side, something we want to discuss. But this will be presented later on tomorrow during day 2, and I would invite you to attend it if you're interested.
Maybe we can talk in general a little bit more about why we're here today and what's to come later this afternoon.
Well, I mean, this is the 10th World Green Economy Summit. It's our flagship event, and we're here to really push the green economy agenda. We always focus on those same pillars: water, food, energy, infrastructure, looking at technology and finance as cross-cutting issues, addressing each of those ones. And some of the, let's say, one of the highlight of the World Green Economy Summit is for our members to attend the ministerial dialogue that will take place later on today. So this is an event that is by invitation only for our members, during which the ministers in a U-shaped format will address their priorities, their challenges with regards to the green economy, and how they can collaboratively find solutions that we can implement from our side.
Good. Then maybe we talk a little bit about what we do at COP this year and also what we did last year.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean, we are an accredited organization by the United Nations. It would be our 6th COP, 4th as accredited, and last year we had a pavilion in the Blue Zone. We held numerous sessions. We covered over 15 topics, from the likes of artificial intelligence to space for environment. We had over hundreds of international speakers, the likes from the Emirates Space Agency to the White House to ARENA, name it. We had a lot of organizations being involved with us. And this year is going to be the same. And so we're really excited about the prospect of COP29, which is 45 days from now.
Yeah. And if companies come with us to COP, we can go a little bit further into that, what they can expect and what happens during those days.
Yeah, so we already have 80 speakers confirmed. We have 17 ministers who would be, speaking at our pavilion through the 12 days at COP. We'll have the announcement of a Guinness World Record in environment. We have several high-level session with ministers and different MOUs. So for the private sector, if you're interested in to be in the Blue Zone, which is the most sought after area, you can connect with us. We can provide you access with speaking opportunities and exposure. So this is something quite unique if you want to really showcase your sustainability commitments and as well reach out to the right audience of decision makers in the Blue Zone.
And we also have a nice amount of companies already signed up with us for this year, and that we're glad to have with us. And yeah, if there's any other questions, anything else we can answer, please let us know. Which is where the actual questions would have come in.
See how well you all explained it?
Amazing. Well, thank you very much. You know, if you reach out to us if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.